I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. The Associated Press reports that UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has once again asked for Israel to stop its construction plans in the controversial E1 area of the West Bank. UN Deputy Spokesman Eduardo Del Boy said the UN chief is following with, quote, concern Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's pledge on Sunday to move ahead with plans to build an E1, which connects Ma'ale Adumim to Jerusalem. The Jewish Week reports that former Secretary of State Colin Powell has come to the defense of Chuck Hagel after his nomination by President Obama to be the next U.S. Secretary of Defense, saying Hagel is a supporter of Israel. Powell downplayed some of the controversial remarks Hagel has made to David Gregory on NBC's Meet the Press on Sunday, one of which was Hagel's referral to AIPAC as the, quote, Jewish lobby. Powell told Gregory, quote, that term slips out from time to time, citing a recent article that said that the Israeli newspaper Haaretz has occasionally used the same term. The former Secretary of State said Hagel should have said Israeli lobby, not Jewish lobby. Powell further said that Hagel is a strong supporter of Israel, but that, quote, it doesn't mean you have to agree with every single position that the Israeli government takes, unquote. He said Hagel has voted for billions and billions of dollars of aid to Israel, and that he has no question that if Israel's security were at risk, Hagel would be on Israel's side, adding, and remember, he is working for a president, and he will follow the policies of that president. The World Jewish Daily reports that low hate crimes against Muslims contradict the, quote, Islamophobia lie in the U.S. Citing a new report, the WJD says hate crimes against Muslims are far less frequent than hate crimes against other minority groups in the U.S., including African Americans, Jews, Hispanics, and the gay, lesbian, and bisexual community. The report referred to a piece by David J. Russin in the National Review on Sunday, in which Russin cites detailed analysis of FBI statistics from the last decade. Russin says that from 2002 to 2011, American Muslims on a per capita basis are estimated to have suffered hate crimes at a frequency of 6.0 incidents per 100,000 per year, 10% lower than African Americans, 48% lower than the gay community, and 59% lower than Jews. Russin says, quote, Americans should keep these numbers in mind whenever Islamists attempt to silence critics by invoking Muslim victimhood, unquote. The World Jewish Daily report says the statistics prove that the media's portrayal of America as a hotbed of anti-Muslim hatred and violence is a lie, further saying the media vastly overstates anti-Muslim sentiment in the U.S. and also vastly understates the extent of anti-Jewish violence in the U.S. The leader of France's Jewish community said that growing anti-Semitism there could endanger the presence of Jews in France. Dr. Richard Prosquier, president of the Jewish CRIF umbrella group, the French affiliate of the World Jewish Congress, said Sunday at the organization's annual national conference in Paris that such a statement would have been considered absurd not too long ago, but that now with parties and groups that are at times blatantly racist and at other times ultra-secular, opposing Jewish rituals like ritual slaughter and circumcision, that, quote, there is new anti-Semitism and it complements the old, unquote. Prosquier said last year's murder of 4 Jews in Toulouse and subsequent incidents of anti-Semitism dictated that this year's conference would focus on the resurgence of the phenomenon and ways to combat it. The Florida Department of Corrections has agreed to serve kosher food to Jewish inmates following a lawsuit filed against the state by the U.S. Justice Department. The Florida Department of Corrections had eliminated its prison kosher food program back in 2007, at which time an estimated 250 prisoners there were enrolled in the program. Last year, the Justice Department accused the state of impinging on Jewish prisoners' rights, citing a violation of the Religious Land Use and Institutionalized Persons Act of 2000, which protects prisoners' freedom of worship. And finally today, the television drama Homeland was a big winner at last night's Golden Globe Awards. The Showtime program is based on the Israeli series Chatufim, or Prisoners of War, whose Israeli creators Avi Nir and Gidon Raff serve as executive producers on the U.S. version of the show. The two were on stage Sunday night at the awards and were thanked by U.S. producer Howard Gordon during his acceptance speech. The show also won awards for Best Actor and Actress in a TV Drama, Damian Lewis and Claire Danes, respectively. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.